Hi folks, and welcome to Kit Room, my series in which I talk about the equipment I use for wildlife filming, photography and sound recording. Now in this, the 5th episode, I'm going to be talking about recent modifications that I've made to my Red Komodo X long lens camera rig. During a recent trip out to the Cairngorm to film Snow Bunting, I came across a few issues with the way that I had the rig configured. The first was the monitor, the second was run stop switch, and the third was issues with the audio. And so I'm going to break this video down into those 3 sections. So let's begin. So when I was on the mountain, it was snowing, and that snow was hitting the monitor, defrosting straight away and leaving water droplets on the screen, to the point of which it was impacting my ability to focus, and also I wasn't noticing if snow was hitting the front element of the lens. Now another issue, to get that water off, I was wiping the screen, and because it's a touch screen, that was bringing all the menus up, and so then I would have to correct for that. Now another issue was because of where it's positioned on the camera and its size, the wind was hitting it and introducing vibrations into my footage. And so at the time I was thinking that I'd need to go to option 2 and to design for that. And option 2 is to use a EVF, an electronic viewfinder. Now I've got the Zacuto Kameleon and I've had this for a few years. Now I used to use it on my Panasonic Ava 1. In using it, I realised that I really do prefer using a larger monitor. Now on the Panasonic, I was using the Atomos Shogun Inferno, which is roughly similar size in screen to the small HD. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Now, one is that I can do all of the focusing, focus peaking, set scopes up on the monitor, which you can do in the EVFs, but I'm not losing my peripheral vision. So with an EVF, you're having to sort of bury yourself into it like this, and so that restricts your, what you can see happening around you. Now, of course, that's not an issue if you're only focused on filming one thing that's in front of you, but in situations where there's perhaps other more interesting things going on to the sides that you want to film, then having a screen allows you to see all that. Now another issue is when the camera is really low to the ground. Of course you've got to sort of bend over and sort of look into the viewfinder, which after doing for hours can be a little bit uncomfortable, and so as I say, I really do like using the monitor. Now another benefit to an EVF is in extremely bright conditions, because obviously with the screen it's open to the sun, that can impact on being able to see the image. And of course with the EVF you're looking into a darkened sort of area, and so that can work as a benefit in bright sun. Now of course you can fit a monitor shade, but in the case of being on the mountain, that wouldn't have benefited me with the wind. Of course it would with the snow, but not with the wind. It would probably actually make the situation worse. And so being able to take the monitor off and just go to the EVF is the way to perhaps to go. And so what I decided to do was to design the rig so I can make that choice. And the way I've fitted the EVF is simply to have a 15mm rod clamp, so it's just a little rod that's fixed onto the top of the handle, and there's a little section on the Zacuto I can slide on, and then I can position the EVF as desired. Now the Zacuto Kameleon has both HDMI and SDI inputs. Now when I was using the Panasonic, I was using the HDMI up to the Kameleon. Now the Kameleon's only a HD screen, and so that wasn't an issue. And I would take the SDI from the camera to the Atomos, and the way I was doing that was by using just a straight through SDI cable, which was BNC connections on either end. Now, I didn't want to use that cable on this camera rig. And the reason for that is there is a major issue when using SDI, even though it's the broadcast standard, really. Now, the issue is the potential to burn out the SDI circuitry within the camera. And this just doesn't apply just to the Red Komodo X, it applies to essentially anything using SDI connections. Now, I was fortunate, I never had a problem with the Panasonic, but I don't want to find out whether I'm going to have a problem with this. Now, there's two ways of addressing this issue. Now, the first, and as long standing, is what's known as the SDI protocol. Essentially all it is just a method of working. So before we power the camera up, we make sure that the SDI connections are disconnected. You power your camera and accessory up and then connect the SDI connection. The opposite, when you want to power the camera down, you make sure you disconnect the SDI first and then power the camera down. And the reason for this is when the camera is powering up or down, it can send power surges through the SDI circuitry, which isn't designed to actually sort of take it, and so it can burn out the circuitry. Now, as I say, there's another method we can employ, and that is to use the ARRI SDI isolator cable. And so with this, you've got the two BNC connections on either end, but midway in the cable we've got some isolating electronics. Now, on the website for ARRI, they still suggest that you, for best practice, use the SDI protocol, but of course if you've got this fitted, then you've got that extra protection. And I'm relying on that because there are several occasions where either I've forgot that I'm using SDI, or I've allowed the camera battery to get so low that the camera shuts down. And it's easy to do. You know, you're engrossed in what you're filming. You just don't happen to notice the power level indicator, and you've reached that point where the camera's going to shut down. And so I'm going to be relying on that cable to protect the gear in those sort of circumstances. Now, there are a couple of issues with the Zacuto Kameleon, and one of them is that it doesn't have an internal battery. Now, when you power up the camera and the accessory, then you go in and you can select the your menu options. And of course, when you power the camera down, all of that's gone. And I find that quite often when I'm in a hide and I'm powering up, powering down on a regular basis, that really becomes a pain in the rear. Now, the second issue is this is not weatherproofed. So there are ports on the side and on the back for its internal cooling. Now, there is an internal fan, but I've never heard it running. And the fact that it's not weatherproof means that I'm going to have to sort of design the rain cover to cover both it and the camera, because as I've said in many times before, the Red Komodo X isn't weatherproofed. So that's going to be my second option in those situations where it's either heavy raining or heavy snow and I can't use the screen. So when I was on the mountain, I was using a rain cover to cover over the camera because the Red Komodo X is not weatherproofed. And what that was creating was the problem of getting to the record button. And so what I decided I needed was a separate button that I could cable out, either to fix onto the handle of the tripod or to have it mounted near to the follow focus. And so that's what I've done. Now, I was in my research, I discovered that Mutiny actually do their own, and it's connected to the top of the Mutiny IO connector with a 3-pin Fisher connection, and then on the other end into the actual switch with a TRS 3.5mm jack. Now, this gives me an added benefit, I'll tell you that in just a minute. So what I've done is I've put a little mounting point onto the 15mm rod that the follow focus is fixed to, and I've also put another mounting point onto the back of the handle there, so I can decide which one I actually want to use. And the switch is just a simple little, just an on-off switch. It's now I would have liked to have had a sort of half press, so that I would able to configure that in the menu for zoom and things like that, because that does occur on the switch that's actually on the red Komodo just on the side there. Now, the other benefit to this system is that on other cameras and other systems I used to have a light barrier trigger, and so when the animal went through the trigger, that would start the camera recording. And so with that I'll be able to rebuild that system and just connect this into it, and literally all it is a sort of normally open contact, so easy to start and stop the recording. So that's the run stop switch. So the final issue that I was having was with the audio side. Now, I have the microphone mounted on a bracket at the side of the camera here, so I have a bracket that's actually mounted to the cage. Now, in the previous sort of configuration, I had the bracket with just one mounting point, and what was happening was the wind was hitting the microphone and it was just vibrating within that mounting point. It just wasn't sort of good enough to keep the microphone held in position, and so I decided I needed two, and so that's what I've done. I've rebuilt a bracket and then fitted two mounting points so that the microphone can actually fit into one, and then the XLR connector can be held by the other, and hopefully that will take out that issue that I was having with the microphone bouncing. Now, because of the fitting the Zacuto on the side of the handle there, which is where I used to have the zoom f3, I needed to reposition the zoom onto the other side of the handle, and therefore keeping the audio on one side of the camera. And then I rebuilt a bracket that I've fixed onto the handle so that I can actually pivot the zoom better than I used to be able to, because before it used to, as soon as you move that, it would loosen the retaining screw and so make it a bit sort of floppy. And so by just doing this, adding a screw and a couple of nuts, I was able to make that so I can just lift and rotate without any issue. And so hopefully that will cure my audio problems. So that's my new Red Komodo X long lens camera rig. Now, I won't be having the EVF mounted all the time. It'll simply I'll take that bracket off and the cabling, and as I said before, I tend to only use this, but now I have both options. Well, I hope that helps somebody. Please feel free to drop any comments and questions into the comment section. I really do enjoy responding to them. Please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and thank you for watching. All the best to you, and bye for now.